The next question is very important question, and it is a query of almost every single person who wanted to deep dive into GST. And the question is, a person who is registered in Punjab has given a property on rent situated in Maharashtra. Whether he required to take registration in Maharashtra. So the person of Punjab has given the property on rent which is situated in Maharashtra. So whether he need to register in Maharashtra state. So that is almost the query of almost every single person who wanted to know about the GST, and it's also a very tricky kind of a query. So before answering this query, I wanted to give you a disclaimer that is my opinion which I am going to tell you. The others people's opinion can differ, so don't take it personally. So we have seen under section 22 it is written that a person need to take registration in every single state from where he supplies the taxable goods or services. So the wording is in a state from where he supplies the taxable goods or services. So now the question is, from where? How can we determine that a person is providing the service or goods in which state? So in case of a goods, we can determine that whether a person is supplying the goods from which position, because in case of a goods there is a physical form, it's a physical material, and we can determine that whether he is supplying from this state or other state because it's a goods. But in case of a service, we cannot determine exactly from where the services is being provided, because that is not in a physical form, that is a invisible form. So we cannot determine that from where the service is being provided. So to determine that from where the service is provided, we have to check out the location of supplier services, which is given under IGST Act. Under IGST there is a definition of location of supplier of service, only the service, because in case of a goods the location can be easily found, but in case of a service it is really a big task. So section number 2 subsection 71 of IGST Act, not the CGST but the IGST Act, give us the definition of location of supplier services, and it says the location of supplier or service can be the place of business, and in case there is a no place of business, then the fixed establishment, and in case there is a no place of business, fixed establishment, then the location of supplier service will be the usual place of residence of that supplier. So these are three things. First one is that the location can be place of business, second one is that is fixed establishment, and third one is that usual place of business. So if there is a place of business, then that will be the place from where the service is provided, and if there is a no place of business, then we have to check out the second one, which is the fixed establishment, and if we don't have the place of business fixed establishment, then we have to check out the usual place of business. So the place of business, the definition of place of business is provided under section 2 subsection 85 of CGST Act, which says that the place of businesses include. That is not a complete definition, I am just giving you the extract of that definition, otherwise the board will also very filled, or you can't interpret the other meaning. So therefore I am just giving you the extract here. So the place of business include the place from where the business is carrying on, and it can also be where he maintains his books of account. So there, if two things is happening from a place, then only we can say that is a place of business of that person. So in case our example, the person is of Punjab and he has the property situated in Maharashtra. So for example, that person doesn't have any other place of business, he doesn't have place of business in Maharashtra other than that property. So we have to check out that place from where business is carrying on. So his business is carrying on from Punjab, he doesn't have any other place in Maharashtra except that property which is being rented out. So first one is not here. Second one is that where he maintains his books. So he is maintaining his book in Punjab. So in both the cases the location is Punjab, the place of business is Punjab. So if you don't have the place of business, then shift on to the next one, which is the fixed establishment, and is provided under section 2 subsection 50 of CGST Act, which says that the fixed establishment is the place which is characterized by a sufficient degree of permanence to supply service. So sufficient degree of permanence, so whether we can say that that property which is being rented out is a sufficient degree of permanence. Yes, we can say it. But permanent to supply service, it is a permanent establishment, okay, we got it. But it can be also permanent establishment of other people which is using that property. So suppose the Punjab person has letting out or giving the property on rent to some person, and that person is using that building for his business. So in that case, where suppose a person who is using that property in actual, he is supplying the goods or services from that property, then he also take the registration of that property. So therefore there cannot be a two registration in one single property. Therefore in my opinion that will also not be a fixed place of establishment, because that property can also be the place of business for other people. So therefore the property which is being given out will be treated as a supply of service for that person. Therefore they cannot say it as a fixed establishment of that person. So therefore the second one is also not be satisfied. And the third one is that if there is a no place of business and the fixed establishment in Maharashtra, then the location of supplier will be the usual place of businesses. So in case the usual place of business is in Punjab, so therefore the location of service provider will be in Punjab. And in case the location of service provider is in Punjab, then we have to check out the nature of that services. The nature of that services is whether interstate or intrastate. The interstate service is those in which the location of supplier and the place of supply is in different state. In case of a renting of immovable property, the location of the place of supply is where the immovable property is actually situated. So in this case the location, the place of supply will be in Maharashtra because the property is situated in Maharashtra. So the place of supply of service, the place of supply of service is in Maharashtra, but the location of supplier is in Punjab. So therefore that will be called a interstate supply of services, and that person has to charge the IGST on that transaction. So therefore in my opinion, where a person who has a registered, who has a place of business in one state and he is just supplying the service in other state where he doesn't have any other place of business fixed establishment, then in my opinion the third clause will be applicable. So his usual place of residence will be the location of supply services, and then we have to check out the nature of supply, whether it is intrastate or interstate, and then on the basis of which we can determine whether he needed to pay the tax of CGST, SGST or IGST. But there can be also one argument here, that if suppose that person doesn't have place of business fixed establishment in Maharashtra, then he can be registered himself as a casual taxable person. Casual taxable person. So let me just give you the definition of what exactly the casual taxable person is. It's provided under section 2 subsection 20 of CGST Act, and it says the casual taxable person is a person who occasionally undertakes transaction. That is an extract, that is not a complete definition. I'm just giving you the relevant portion of it to understand the concept. So the casual taxable person is a person who occasionally undertakes, So in case of our example where a person of Punjab has a property situated in Maharashtra, so I think the property situated in Maharashtra is for 2-3 months, 4 months, so that cannot be called as occasionally undertake. That is not a occasional situation. So therefore in my opinion that person cannot be registered as a casual taxable person because he is not occasionally undertaking that transaction. So therefore in my opinion that person cannot register himself in Maharashtra as a casual taxable person. He has to charge IGST on that transaction because the location of supply service is in Punjab and the place of supply is in Maharashtra. And how did we determine the location of supplier? Location is supplier is the three things. First one is that we have to check out the place of business. Place of business is where the place from where the business carrying on or where he maintains the books of account. In both two cases we determined that he maintained his book in Punjab, and also the place from where he makes the taxable supply is also in Punjab. So therefore first situation is not applicable. Then the fixed establishment is permanence to supply services, but in our case the established in permanent, okay, but that can also be registered by the other person, so therefore we cannot deal with it. And the third one is that the usual place of residence. So in our example, the usual place of residence of that person is in Punjab, so therefore the location is in Punjab but the place of supply is in Maharashtra, so therefore that person has to charge the IGST. And also that person cannot be registered as a casual taxable person because he doesn't occasionally undertake transaction. And in the similar situation, like suppose if a person who is providing the service of event management, what will be his taxability? So suppose he is registered or he has a place of business in Delhi and he is providing the event management service in different states like in Uttarakhand, then Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, etc. So whether he need to register in every single states. In case of a event management service, the place of supplier service is in the state where he is supplying or he is making the event, but the question is whether he need to register in every single state. So in my opinion, that person has also be charged IGST in that case, because that cannot be possible that he has to register himself in every single state he makes the event, because that kind of a thing will very much burden on those person who undertake that kind of a situation. Another situation is like a singer who is of Mumbai who perform in every single state like in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata. So whether he need to take registration in every single state, and in my opinion that cannot be happen, and that is not the intention of GST. And you can argue that that person is occasionally undertaking transaction. I know that he is occasionally undertaking transaction by way of singing, because that event can be one event in Delhi, one, and then in second day in Uttarakhand, Delhi. And that kind of situation can happen that he occasionally undertakes transaction. But if that is the intention, so it means that he has to register in every single state in every single time. So I think that is not the intention of law. That is not the intention of law. So therefore in those cases where the location of supplier services is in one state but he undertakes some kind of a transaction in other state, then he need to charge IGST on that case. He don't need to register in every single state from where he supplies the service. So therefore that is my opinion. Your opinion can differ and others person can opinion can differ. So you have to make your own decision before you are applying before you are paying the tax as per CGST or SGST or IGST. So that is my opinion. Your opinion can differ.